So we're going to be talking about a specific mechanic that is unique to this game. Once upon a time, again, as I start many videos for this game, was once upon a time called a baby game. But if you notice here, you see a lot of quarter circles. Everything's quarter circle except for this, right? Performs a sliding attack, costs HP. And over here, we have this, big gamble. A rising sword attack, costs HP. This is what is called the furious action by the English players, or Gyakigire for Japanese players. This is the universal DP. Every character has an invincible reversal that's meterless that they could do in this game, but it's not with DP input. Instead, you use the B and D button for this. So we're going to talk about how to fight everyone's BD, what BD is used for, and countermeasures for BD. At a glance, and this was a pretty valid criticism when the game came out, the fact that everyone has invincible move that is not an input, because usually that's how they make these moves fair, and that's why they don't give them to a lot of characters. So the fact that you have one means that when you're blocking, I can just mash this and block stun until like I have a gap, right? So, I mean, really, I could do like this. Cool. All skill, right? At a glance, this will make the game feel really rock, paper, scissors heavy and guess heavy. But let's step back and look at the different type of DPs in the game first so that we can build countermeasures against them. So we got one here already, basically the main one, okay? This is just a standard Dragon Punch. Funny enough that his is called Big Gamble because that's really what it is. It's a standard Dragon Punch. You've seen it in other fighting games. Yukari actually falls into this, even though hers is a slide and not like a rising up move. I still have it in this group of an attack that is invincible. So the next type is the counter DP. So by the way, these used to be ridiculous, but they've been nerfed since vanilla, so still really good, just not like as ridiculously good. If it activates, you counter them. The next type is this one, the guard point. It acts as if the character is blocking, and then counters with attack. So then we have, this is the Persona DP. So I call it Persona DP because, well, I mean, his persona is there. So it's not kanji doing the DP, it's the persona doing the DP. This is really important when we go back to review how we fight these DPs. Persona DPs tend to do special stuff. So like kanji, if he hits you, he inflicts paralysis on you. And like Naoto has 2 follow-ups on hers. Like all the Persona DPs have like special shit. And then the last one, and this is by far the worst one, but it's not common also, so it's okay. So again, this is her DP. It's a techable grab. And in this game, unless they change it, in this game, the person who techs has a very slight advantage, like +2. So her and Elizabeth have this. Because it's a grab, everything that beats grabs will beat this. This one is pain. Having a grab DP is pain. Your defense is a lot worse if you have a grab DP. So from here, we go into how do you deal with each DP. So now that we've organized them into types, we can be like, all right, this is how we're going to deal in a general way of each one. And then from there, you can go into specific countermeasures for each character. For the standard ones, your main strategies are going to be things like on knockdowns, doing a safe setup where you're either far and can attack like that, or just a straight up safe jump if you have one. If you're in pressure, you might have something like this. So if I'm out here, once there's range, it doesn't reach anymore. So you might try to play the range game so that it doesn't reach you. Besides that, once you get close enough, it's still a DP, a normal DP. So you would have to wait at this range or go back to a range where the DP won't reach you. Grab, as I mentioned, so I have her out here. Everything that beats grab will beat this. So not being there for some reason, jumping to bait, any type of like thing that will beat throw will beat this. So I think these are the easiest to fight. And then even if they do get you, when you tech, you have the advantage. You should be at a very slight advantage, like +2, I believe, to my memory. Okay, so for guard points are pretty easy to deal with. There's a couple of characters that aren't that good at dealing with it, but your strategy will be to jump. So try to use a lot of short jump cancelable moves so that you can jump in on reaction. Another one you could do, so you could try to DP back also against this. Labrys's DP is a little funky, so she could hold hers and release on will. But because it's so slow to start up, it's easier to react to. Shadow Labrys just goes. Like she tanks a hit and she just goes. So if you use a move with short active frames, it's basically impossible to do anything about it. You're just gonna get hit. So you have to make sure you get Shadow Labrys. You use moves that you can jump cancel easily, or you have enough time to see it and DP. So I'm gonna try to DP her DP. Never mind, I'm woke. No, I was woke the one time. In vanilla, her 5A was only 1 frame active. So you literally couldn't do it. It was fucking impossible to do this. So we'll do counters next. So thankfully, they blessed us. And now it is much easier to make the counters not reach you. For the most part, they're all like actually punishable. There it is. Yes. So once upon a time, you could not do this. I'm sure there's some actual good punish for this for Naruto. Don't use this as the real punish. I'm just showing that you can actually hit the shit, because before he was invincible. Basically all the counters work this way. Now for Persona DPs, they require a little bit extra. So this is a safe jump. I cannot jump this, nor can I roll. Right? Cannot roll. Do the roll again. Look at my inputs. Okay, smoked. Okay. So what do you do about this? The main way you would deal with this would be to not do the safe jump yourself, but try to use your persona, or if you can, so that you don't interact with it and then you can punish. That's the main way you deal with Persona DPs. You'll definitely feel it against Naruto, and you'll super feel it against Kanji. Kanji probably has the best one overall. So those would be like the main strategies you would use against the 5 types of DPs that are in the game. Everyone falls into that. Some characters have extra shit you can do to deal with them also. If you're a Persona player, you've been watching this, you're probably like, when's he gonna talk about the thing? So now's the time to talk about the thing. So you just learned how to deal with the main 5 types of DPs in the game, but there's another thing you have to fight, which is this. So they're super cancelable on block. So the good news is, for counter DPs, you're usually not blocking ever, besides like Chie. But for the normal DPs, the Persona DPs, the guard points, you will have to learn how to deal with the super cancel. We'll start with the normal DPs. The good news is, it's pretty easy to deal with. You can either run under, or you can roll past them. In the case that they don't have an air super that they could do, which does exist, Mitsuru is a good example, you just hit them. Just hit her out there. She doesn't have an air super, so she can't do it. So for guard points, it's actually as I mentioned before, so she does have... For the most part, this is probably not coming up because you're probably DPing back, so you don't have to really worry about it for guard points. It can come up against S-Lab though, but as long as you have a character that has a very active attack that you can cancel the DP, this basically is not a problem. I'll show you guys the difference between 3 characters. Actually, this would be a good way to end it. I'll do one of each character, mostly because like these characters have different ways of approaching these situations. So this should like give you some juice to work with. So Yukari actually has a really good throw game, right? And she has 2 things that's really good against throw. She has this, the headshot, and she has rising jump A. When I was checking to see which one I should use against Adachi, his DP hits really far horizontally, and depending on when he does it, he can get you, depending on when he does it, if he's trying to do it with your throw timing. So I was like, oh, I shouldn't use it a lot against him. Instead, I should use this one. Because if I use this, then because he hops forward, his DP is going to whiff and I can punish him. And then if he tries to like air throw me, I'm going to hit him. If he tries to throw tech normally, I'm going to hit him. Alright, so the jump A is a better option against him. You can go as a little problem where her jab is too slow. So you have to be like either really close, and you have to time it right and make the 2A hit in the air. Like, it can be done. This definitely takes practice though. You can't use like any of your other normals really. So like she doesn't have the same easy punishes that other people have, and Mitsuru's DP doesn't go high enough for Yukiko to just run under it, so that the follow-up will whiff. So she ends up having to you either have to get this timing, and I actually don't know if she has a good combo of this or not. Kind of annoying for her to punish DPs from people because of this being 10 frames. That's a trade-off for it being so huge. Yukari DP. Between it sliding low like that, and she doesn't have a 5A that hits high, pressure where people go like this and use like short hops and stuff end up being really good, because it's hard to see short hop and you can't mash it, so you have to DP. So defense of her is pretty hard if people use a lot of like neutral jump falling buttons and like keep picking things that are jump cancel to make it ambiguous. Then, as I mentioned, grab and counter DPs this is not really an issue. For the persona DPs, you actually will have to check individually what you should do to deal with them, but the main times you'll have to worry about DP super is from people who have standard DPs. I think that's everything I got about this. You guys have any questions? This is definitely the basics, I would say. Any further from here would be you should take your character and look at each individual character's DP and see what you do about it.